Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope all of you are fine and safe. I am your teacher Jem Raimon, and today I'll be sharing with you my second classroom observation video in Science 6 for this school year. By the way, I'm very thankful to Canva for making my CO slide presentations more appealing, exciting, and personalized. To all our teachers out there, I am encouraging you to use this online application to enhance more your presentations. Canva can really make it all possible for teachers. Thanks a lot, Canva. Hope this video can help you, my dear fellow teachers, in planning also your lesson. And for all our learners, hope you will learn more about the topic, Earth's rotation and revolution. Happy watching, everyone!
Go forth, rise and shine to us all. Escalante Central Elementary School. You've entrusted us your vision. Building your dreams would be our mission.
Hello, grade 6 learners! How are you today? I hope all of you are fine and safe. Welcome to our science class. Today, we will have another science adventure. Are you all excited? Today will be a great day for all of us, especially if you follow our agreed rules every time we have our science class. I'm sure you are following this always. What are again our science offline classroom rules? Anybody? Very good. Be ready. Be physically and mentally ready. Be on time. And of course, don't forget to start your day with a smile. Can you do it for me now? Can I see your beautiful smile? The second rule is correct. Be prepared. Prepare all the things you need, like your notebook, your ball pen, your paper, and even the electronic copies of your self-learning module. And don't forget to find a quiet study area. What's next? Correct. Be attentive and obedient. You have to listen attentively to all my instructions, and of course, you have to obey your parents there at home all the time. Most importantly, you have to pay respect to them always and to your other family members. Especially they are helping you in accomplishing your activity. And don't forget to say thank you to them. What is our next rule? Very good. Be focused and disciplined. You have to avoid something that would disrupt your focus while watching our video. No playing of video games or toys while our class is going on. And the last rule we have is be participative. While watching our video, please participate in all the activities required of you to do. Please do all the tasks and please submit your outputs on time. We have also our group chat, right? You can participate there also, class. But take note, you have to post messages only that are relevant to our lesson. And of course, you have to be respectful also with all the comments you post. When you follow all these rules as you always do, for sure, today would be another amazing day for all of us. Before we start our lesson, let us answer first the what's in part of the lesson 1 of your module 5, quarter 4, entitled Movements of the Earth. Directions: answer the following riddles. Select your answer in the box. Are you familiar with riddles, class? Riddles are just statements or phrases or even questions that are set forth as puzzle to be solved. In Tagalog, we call this as bugtong. In our own dialect in Cebuano, ginatawag tani og tigmo. Kabati na ka og word nga tigmo? Let's have number 1. I am the king of the solar system. I have my 8 followers that surround and never leave me. I share to them my heat and light. What am I? Choose your answer here inside the box. What is that? Correct! The answer is the sun. Yes, the sun is the king or the center of our solar system. Next, number 2. I am a straight imaginary line. The earth spins on me. What am I? Let me give you a clue. This one, class. What do you call this one? This is just an imaginary line where the earth spins. What do you think is the correct answer? Correct! The answer is axis. We call this imaginary line axis. Let's have number 3. I am a circular path. I guide the earth as it travels around the sun. What am I? What is the answer for number 3? Now, here's the clue. That one. That circular path where the earth travels around the sun. That circular path is called orbit. Very good. Next, number 4. I am the third daughter of the sun. Among my siblings, I am the only one with life. I have plants and animals on me, and I am surrounded by many blue seas. Who am I? Now here's the clue. What planet is that? Very good! Our very own planet, Earth. And Earth is the third planet from the sun. Number 5. I look like your planet, but I am small. What am I? This one, what do you call this? Correct, that's globe. The globe is just a model of our Earth. So this is now the what's in part of your module, particularly in lesson 1. Now let's proceed the what's in part of your lesson 2. Directions: arrange the scrambled letters to form the correct words being described. Number 1. The spinning movement of the Earth on its axis is called, what do you think? Very good. The answer is rotation. Number 2. The imaginary straight line where the Earth spins. Very good. That's axis. Number 3. The journey of the Earth around the Sun. Very good. It's revolution. And number 4. The complete travel time of the Earth's revolution is called. Very good. It is called a year. Number 5. The imaginary path that guides the Earth around the Sun. Very good. It's orbit. This is now the what's in part of your lesson 2, still in your Science 6 Quarter 4, Module 5. What sports do you want to play, class? Do you like playing sports? Have you played volleyball? Who among you here like volleyball? Have you tried beach volleyball? Beach volleyball is very good, especially during this summertime. How about basketball? Have you tried playing it? Who among you here love playing basketball? I know most of you love playing it because, as we all know, basketball is one of the most played sports here in the Philippines. Am I right? Especially here in Escalante City. In fact, my brother's brother-in-law, James Yap, is very well known in this field. James Yap is the most valuable player of PBA, and he is a very proud Escalantehanon. Taga-Escalante si James, did you know that? And recently, Escalante City was trending again in social media when we celebrated our city charter anniversary last February, when the LGBT group played basketball during the city charter's basketball tournament. And they play it with a twist. This is how we love basketball here in Escalante City. By the way, class, while playing your favorite sports, have you tried spinning the ball using your finger? Just like you see here on the screen? Have you tried this one, class? Aside from the different ball games, class, have you tried track and field sports? What you see here on the screen are the different sports events in track and field. And these sports are usually played during the pre-pandemic school year. Are you familiar with this? Have you tried running around a field? Kinsa naman ninyo ang nakalibot sa ground sa SS? Raise your hand. Is this sport familiar to you? This is one of the sports played in a track and field. And what do you call this sport? Correct. We call this as hammer throw. The hammer throw is one of the sports in athletics or in track and field wherein the metal ball here, called as hammer, is being hurdled for a distance using two hands within a throwing circle. So, ibig sabihin, pinapaikot na muna yung ating metal ball dito, called as hammer, bago ito itapon sa field. And this hammer throw is one of the throwing events together with javelin throw, discus throw, and shot put. Based on your observation, class, what kind of movements do you see here? When you spin the ball using your finger, when you run around the field, and when you execute the hammer throw. What kind of movements are this? What is the direction of the movement? Yes, you're correct. All move in a circular motion. Let's take first the spinning ball. How does the ball spin or move? Correct. The ball spins or moves around the center. And where can we find the center of the spinning ball? Where do you think? Yes, it's in your finger. The ball spins or moves through your finger. How about this athlete, class? How does he move? And how about this metal ball here? How does it move? Very good. This athlete move around a center, which is the ground. And how about this metal ball or the hammer? Yes, the metal ball here is being moved around in a circular path before it was thrown in the field. Do not do this at home, this hammer throw, because it requires training to be professional and to be skillful in this sport. Now, how will you compare these movements to that of the Earth's movement? May pagkakapareho ba ang movement ng mga bagay na ito sa pag-move din ng ating Earth or ng ating mundo? What do you think? Very good! The movements can be compared to that of Earth's rotation and Earth's revolution. Now, do you want to know more about Earth's motion, particularly its rotation and revolution? And our objective for this week is to differentiate rotation from revolution and to describe the effects of Earth's motions. Now, are you ready to explore another science adventure for today? Are you ready to find out more about Earth's motions and its effects? But before we do our activity, what are again our basic safety rules in performing our science offline activity? What acronym do we use for you not to forget, for you to always remember our basic safety rules? Yes, very good. The acronym SCIENCE. Science is our basic safety rule. Now, what does each letter mean? Yes, very good. Secure all the materials needed. And of course, please follow all the verbal and written instructions. Now, if you are confused o nalilito ka sa mga instructions, please ask the assistance of your parents or your guardians there at home. C stands for carefully handle the materials. Be cautious in handling all the materials you use in our activity. Kinakailangang mag-ingat ka palagi sa paggamit ng mga materials mo sa ating activity. And of course, determine the potential hazards and safety precautions of the materials before starting the work. Dapat alam mo din yung mga posibilidad na mangyayari kung sakasakaling hindi tama ang paggamit mo ng mga materials. At dapat alam mo kung kanino ka at saan ka hihingi ng tulong. Don't forget to ask the assistance and help of your parents and guardians there at home. And that will lead you to our next letter in our basic safety rule, which is letter I. And what does letter I mean? Very good. I stands for inform your parents or your guardians about the activity. Ask their help, ask their assistance and guidance while you are working with your activity. And most importantly, pay respect to them as they guide you in accomplishing your task. E stands for eating and playing pranks are strictly prohibited while performing our science offline activity. Yes, class. Eating and playing while you are working your tasks are not allowed. Understood? And what do we mean by letter N? Our next letter in our basic safety rule? Very good. N stands for never get distracted. Eating and playing pranks while performing your activity could distract your focus. And distractions could lead to accidents. So that's why you have to focus on your task. Work quietly as much as possible. Be courteous to the people around you there at home. And please be respectful of their spaces. C stands for create a safe and conducive working space. Never work alone, remember that. Always ask the presence, the assistance, and guidance of your parents and guardians as you work your activity. And as much as possible, if these materials are available at home, always wear a safety gear like your goggles, lab apron, and gloves for safety purposes. And the last letter E means equipment should be utilized only for designated purposes. And of course, in designated area. And this equipment's class should be returned safely to its proper place. In performing our science offline activity, always remember our basic safety rules. The acronym SCIENCE. Let us now perform our first activity entitled The Spinning Earth. For activity number 1, you will need the following materials. First is the globe. Do you have globe at home? If you don't have this at home, then you may use an alternative material which is the ball. What you see here on screen is a basketball, but you can use any kinds of ball available there at home. And next, we have flashlight. Please get it now. Do you have with you your materials now? Very good. You have your materials with you now. Place the globe on the table. Are you done? Next is hold the flashlight 1 meter away from the globe or the ball. Just like you see here on the screen. Next, darken the room and turn the flashlight on. Panandalian, isara mo na muna yung bintana mo, pinto mo, and switch off also the light in the room where you are in para maging medyo madilim siya para ma-perform mo yung activity na to. Tapos na? Are you done? Very good. Now, ask your parents or your guardian or any family members who are with you there at home to turn the globe slowly. Just like you see here on the screen. But if you are using the ball, you can ask them also to spin the ball slowly. Now, are you done? Very good. As you perform this activity, observe what happens. Observe what happens to the different parts of the globe, or if you are using ball there, what happens to the different parts of the ball as the light from the flashlight strikes it. Observe very closely what happens to the different parts of the globe as the light from the flashlight strikes it. Now, are you finished doing the activity? After doing it, please get your science activity notebook and answer the following questions. Number 1. What do the flashlight and globe represent? Answer only. You write the answer only on your notebook. Number 2. Which part of the globe or the ball would receive light? Number 3. Would all parts of the globe or the ball receive light at the same time from the flashlight? Why? Number 4. What would happen to the part of the Earth which receives light? Answer only. You write the answer only on your notebook. And number 5. What would happen to the part of the Earth not receiving light? Again, write the answer only on your notebook. Are you done? This time, let's perform your activity number 2, entitled The Traveling Earth. And this could be found on page 14 in your Quarter 4 Self-Learning Module in Science 6, still in Module 5. For activity number 2, you will need the following materials. 1 clean sheet of paper. Bond paper will do. And also 6 inches string. Kung wala kang string available at home, then you may use thread, rope, or nylon. Or kahit na anong pantale or lubid na available sa bahay. Pwede yan. Also, you will use 1 push pin. And we have 1 pencil. Please get these materials now. Now, do you have with you your materials? Very good. Again, as you perform our activity number 2, please remember always our basic science safety rules. Now, do you have your materials with you now for your activity number 2? Then, place these materials on the top of the table. And then, please get your band paper. This entire screen will represent the surface of your band paper. And this time, let us put the push pin in the center of the paper. Just like you see here on the screen. But take note, class, you have to be careful in handling the push pin. It has a pointed surface and it is sharp. Next, loop the end of the string around the push pin and the other end to the body of the pencil. Itali mo yung one end ng lubid, class, sa push pin and the other end naman ay itali mo sa pencil. Just like you see here on the screen. Please do it now. Are you done? Very good. And then, move the pencil around the push pin to form a circular mark on the paper. Just follow what you see here on the screen. Please follow this to form the circular mark. You are doing the activity right if you have this output. Nagawa mo ba ito? If you do, then good job! Now, after doing the activity, please get again your science activity notebook. Then answer the following questions. Number 1, what do pencil and pushpin represent? Write only your answer in your notebook. Number 2, what does the circular path in your drawing represent? No need to copy the question. Write away the answer in your notebook. Number 3, what do you call to the circular movement of the pencil around the pushpin? And number 4, do you think Earth is also traveling around the sun just like in your activity? Yes or no? What are the evidence that Earth is indeed traveling around the sun? Can you cite evidences that Earth is really traveling around the sun? Please answer it in your notebook. Are you done? Very good. Let's discuss now your activity number 1, entitled The Spinning Earth. This is our activity 1, right? And we performed this earlier. Now, what does this flashlight represent? Anybody? Very good. The flashlight represents the sun. And how about the globe? Or if you are using the ball there at home, then what does the ball represent? Very good. The ball or the globe represents our very own planet Earth. Which part of the globe or the ball would receive light? Anybody? Very good. The part of the globe or the ball that would receive light is the side facing towards the flashlight, just like you see here on the screen. Now, would all parts of the globe or would all parts of the ball would receive light from the flashlight and at the same time? Why? Lahat ba ng parte ng globo o ng bola makakakuha ng sabay na ilaw from the flashlight? The answer is no. Not all parts of the globe, not all parts of the ball would receive light from the flashlight and at the same time. Why do you think? You're correct. It is because the ball or the globe is round. So therefore, there are parts of the globe, there are parts of the ball facing away from the light. Now, what would happen to the parts of the earth or the parts of the ball that would receive light? Ano yung mangyayari sa parte ng globo o sa parte ng earth na makakakuha ng light? So this is the part of the earth where it receives light. And what do you think would this part experience? Very good! The part of the earth that receives light will experience daytime. Now, what would happen to the parts of the earth not receiving light? Ano kaya yung mangyayari sa parte ng mundo na hindi nakakakuha ng ilaw? This part of the earth would not receive light. And what do you think will this part experience? Very good. It will experience nighttime. What do you think is being described in your activity number 1? Very good. Your activity number 1 describes the rotation of the Earth. And what do we mean by the Earth's rotation? Very good. The rotation is the movement of the Earth on its axis. The red line here represents the Earth's axis. It is just an imaginary line where the Earth spins. Earth axis goes from the north through the center to the South Pole. And you notice it is tilted. Nakatagilid ito. Yes, class, our Earth is tilted. Nakatagilid ito ng 23.5 degrees. Dito umiikot ang ating mundo. Katulad din ng ating bola kanina na ginamit. Pinaikot natin yung bola gamit yung ating mga daliri. Can you still remember that? Yung daliri natin yung nagsisilbing axis. Ito yung point na kung saan umiikot yung bola. Again, yung Earth's axis natin, class, ay imaginary lang o imahinasyon lamang. Ang axis ay gabay lang naman natin, class, para alam natin kung saan talaga umiikot ang ating mundo. Again, Earth's axis goes from the North Pole through the center to the South Pole. Speaking of directions, can you still remember your primary directions? What are our primary directions? The primary directions are the north, the south, the east, and the west directions. And we have also secondary directions, class. We have northeast, northwest, southwest, and southeast direction. Now, based on these directions, how do you describe the direction of Earth's rotation? Paano kaya umiikot ang ating mundo? In what direction does the Earth rotate? Any idea? To help you answer that question, let me present this to you. Now, how do you describe Earth's rotation now? Very good. Earth rotates from west to east direction. Or, shall we say, Earth rotates in a counterclockwise direction. And what do we mean by counterclockwise direction? Now, for those who are confused with the word counterclockwise, counterclockwise is just an opposite direction to the way in which the hands of the clock move around. The rotation of the Earth here describes counterclockwise. Bakit? Kasi, kung napapansin ninyo, ang pag-ikot ng ating mundo dito ay kabaliktaran ng pag-ikot ng ating orasan. Di ba? Have you noticed that? Ang direksyon ng pag-ikot ng mga kamay ng ating orasan ay tinatawag nating clockwise direction. Kung kabaliktaran ng pag-ikot nito sa ating orasan, katulad lang ng pag-ikot ng ating mundo, ito ay naglalarawan ng counterclockwise direction. Now, what is the major effect of Earth's rotation? Very good. The Earth's rotation is the reason why we experience daytime and nighttime. Ang pagkakaroon natin ng araw at saka gabi ay dahil yan sa pag-ikot ng mundo sa kanyang axis o ang tinatawag nating Earth's rotation. Ang rason nga nung may adlaw ta ug may gabi tungod na sa paglibot sa kalibutan sa yahang kaugalingong axis. Ang tawag nato ana kay Earth's rotation. How many hours Earth takes to complete one rotation? Sa isang pag-ikot ng ating mundo sa kanyang sariling axis, ilang oras yan aabutin? Very good. It takes 24 hours for Earth to complete one rotation. Aabot ito ng 24 na oras bago makumpleto ng Earth ang isang pag-ikot nito sa kanyang sariling axis. And 24 hours is equivalent to how many days? Very good! 24 hours is equivalent to 1 day. Now, let's do a simple mathematics. Kung 48 hours na umiikot ang ating mundo, ilang araw na ito umiikot? What do you think is the answer? Very good! 2 araw na ito umiikot or 2 days. How do we get the correct answer? Paano mo nakuha yung tamang sagot? And let's now convert hours to days. So ang una natin gagawin is to find first the correct proportion. And as we all know, 24 hours is equivalent to 1 day. So 24 hours is to 1 day. And 48 hours is another given. And we don't know yet how many days is equivalent for 48 hours. So letter N here will represent number of days. What's next? Yes, we will perform cross multiplication. We will multiply 1 day times 48 hours. And also, we will multiply 24 hours times n. Now, 1 day times 48 hours is equal to? Very good. 48 hours and then day. Next, on the other side of the equation, 24 hours times n is equivalent to? Still, 24 hours n. Next, after that. Yes, for us to find n here, we have to divide both sides by 24 hours. Para ang matira na lang dito sa kabilang side or sa right side ng equation natin ay n na lang. So, divide both sides with 24 hours. Yan. And, as you notice, makakancel na dito yung 24 hours. Kasi 24 divided by 24 is equal to 1 na. So, ibig sabihin, n na lang yung natitira sa kabilang side ng ating equation. Next. Yes, itong units natin na hours, makakancel din yan. Pero yung numbers, madidivide talaga natin. 48 divided by 24, how much? Very good. The answer is 2. And what unit is left here? Yes, days. So, ibig sabihin, the final answer is 2 days. So, tama yung sagot natin kanina na 48 hours is equivalent to 2 days. And this is how to convert hours to days. So, 48 hours is equal to 2 days. Now, kung gusto mo mas maikli o mas mabilis ang pag-solve, pwede naman yon. We have shortcut naman in solving this problem, as we do always in mathematics. Here, we convert hours to day, right? As we all know, R is a smaller unit compared to day. And if that's the case, kung mas maliit ang unit na i-convert natin kaysa sa hinahanap natin na sagot, in this case, number of days, then ang gagawin lang natin ay i-divide lang natin yung given na data, which is 48 hours. I-divide natin yung 48 hours sa, yes, sa 24 hours. So, 48 divided by 24 hours is equal to 2 days. Same pa din naman yung tamang sagot. But if you want talaga na malaman kung paano talaga nakuha yung 2 days, then you perform what I presented earlier using proportion. Now, this time, let us convert naman hours to minutes. So, i-convert naman natin from larger unit to a smaller unit. So, we will convert 24 hours to minutes. How many minutes are there in 24 hours? How do we solve that? Now, we will convert 24 hours to minutes. And just like we do earlier, we will set up the proportion. As we all know, the 24 hours here will be converted to minutes. So, ibig sabihin, we will use variable n to represent the number of minutes. And what is the setup on the other side of the equation? Yes, 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. Alam naman natin na ang isang oras ay katumbas yan ng 60 minuto. So, what's next? Yes, we will cross-multiply. So, we will multiply n times 1 hour. And then, we will multiply also 24 hours times 60 minutes. So, copy again n times 1 hour. And then, we will multiply 24 times 60. And how much is that? Very good. It's 1,440. And of course, copy the units, the hours and the minutes. What's next? Yes, we will divide both sides by 1 hour. Bakit? Very good. Para ang matira na lang sa left side ng equation natin ay letter N. We will divide both sides by 1 hour. Yan. So, cancel na yung R sa kabila. So, letter N na lang yung matitira. May makakancel din na R sa kabilang side. And letter N na lang yung matitira sa left side ng ating equation. Of course, 1,440 divided by 1 will still give you 1,440. We will copy here the unit minutes. Yan. Yung final answer natin dito ay 1,440 minutes. Yan yung katumbas ng 24 hours. So we now know that 1 day is equivalent to 24 hours and 24 hours is equivalent to 1,440 minutes. Now, meron ba tayong shortcut sa pag-solve ng pag-convert ng hours to minutes? Yes, meron din naman. As we all know, R na unit is bigger than the minute unit. So that's why, kung ito ang i-convert natin, we will use multiplication lang naman. We will multiply the given data. 24 hours ang i-convert natin. Imo-multiply lang natin yan sa 60 minutes. Okay, so 24 hours times 60 minutes is equivalent to 1,440 minutes. So this is now our final answer. Now, aside from having daytime and nighttime class, ano pa kaya yung epekto ng pag-ikot ng mundo sa atin? What do you think? As the Earth rotates on its axis, just like you see here on the screen, objects that are not fixed on the ground, such as the air, will get deflected. Dahil nga sa pag-ikot ng mundo sa kanyang sariling axis, lahat ng mga objects na hindi nakatungtong sa lupa katulad lamang ng hangin at saka ng tubig ay nalilihis ang direksyon sa paggalaw. These arrows represents the deflected air as the Earth rotates on its axis. Instead of going straight up or instead of going straight down, imbis na gagalaw ito ng matulin pataas o pababa, the air will be deflected sideways. Lilihis ito ng direksyon at dahil ito sa epekto ng pag-ikot ng mundo sa kanyang sariling axis. Kung wala gatuyok ang kalibutan, class, ang hangin musutoy ra na pababaw ug musutoy ra po na siya paubos. Pero, kay gatuyok man ang ato ang kalibutan, imbis musutoy pababaw, mukurbada ang hangin pababaw o mukurbada siya paubos. Tungod na siya sa pagtuyok sa ato ang kalibutan. And what do you call this deflection of air? Ano ba yung tawag natin sa paglihis ng paggalaw ng hangin dahil sa pag-ikot ng ating mundo? Very good! You're correct! Coriolis Effect. The deflection of the air or the deflection of the moving object due to the Earth's rotation is called Coriolis Effect. Now, Coriolis Effect, class, is a phenomenon that causes the fluid, both air and water, to deflect or curve sideways as they travel above or below the Earth's surface. Coriolis Effect happens because the different parts of the Earth move at the different speed as it rotates on its own axis. Nangyayari ang Coriolis Effect dahil ang iba't ibang parte ng mundo ay mayroong magkaibang bilis sa pag-ikot habang umiikot ang mundo sa kanyang sariling axis. Matabo ang Coriolis Effect, class, kay lain-lain manggod ang kakusugon sa paglibot sa laing-laing parte sa ato ang kalibutan. Now, did you know, class, that the objects near the equator move faster than those objects found or located near the North and South Pole? Now, alam nyo ba, class, na ang mga bagay malapit sa equator ay mas mabilis ang pagkilos o ang paggalaw nito kaysa sa mga bagay na matatagpuan malapit sa North Pole at saka sa South Pole? Kabalo ba ka, class, nga ang mga butang duol sa equator mas kusog ang paglihok ni ini kaysa sa mga butang nga naa makita duol sa North o sa South Pole? Now, why is it that objects near the equator move faster than those objects found near the poles? Ano kaya yung dahilan kung bakit mas mabilis ang paggalaw ng mga bagay malapit sa Ecuador kaysa sa mga bagay malapit sa mga poles? It has something to do with the shape of the Earth, class. Hindi kasi ito perfect na round shape o hindi ito perfect na sphere, kundi ang shape ng Earth ay oblate spheroid. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng oblate spheroid? Ang gitna kasing bahagi ng Earth, class, ay medyo mataba. Just like you see here on the screen. Ito yung tunay na shape ng planet Earth. Yung nasa loob ng broken line, class, ay yan yung perfect sphere. Pero hindi yan ang shape ng ating Earth as you see here on the screen. Kung makikita nyo nga, medyo mataba yung gitnang bahagi ng ating planeta. Dahil nga ganito yung hugis ng ating mundo, part found near the equator is much wider compared to the North and the South Pole. This means that the movement of the air found near the equator moves faster compared to the movement of the air found near the North and the South Pole. The farther you go from the equator, the slower is the movement of the air. Ibig sabihin, ang paggalaw ng hangin malapit sa equator or sa Ecuador ay mas mabilis kung ikukumpara mo ito sa paggalaw ng mga hangin malapit sa North at saka sa South Pole. Habang papalayo ang hangin mula sa equator at papunta ito ng mga poles, hihina ang paggalaw nito. Buti pa sa butlas, mas kusog ang paglihok sa hangin duol sa Ecuador or sa equator kung ikumpara nimo dito sa paglihok sa hangin duol sa North o sa South Pole. Now, kung gapalayo ang hangin gikan sa equator, gahinay ang iyang paglihok kung pakadto siya sa mga poles. Mas mahina nga ang paggalaw ng mga objects katulad ng hangin o ng tubig malapit sa North at saka sa South Pole kasi nga maliit lang yung distansya na kanilang iniikot or iikutin. Ang mga hangin naman o tubig malapit sa equator ay mas mabilis naman ang kanilang paggalaw kasi nga mas mataba ang gitnang bahagi ng ating mundo. Kaya mas malawak ang distansya na kanilang iniikot or iikutin. How do we get the rotational speed of the different parts of the Earth? Paano natin malalaman? Paano natin maisosolve kung gaano kabilis ang pag-ikot ng iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo? Now let's do a simple mathematics again. Let us solve the rotational speed of the different parts of the Earth. Let us solve first the rotational speed at the equator. First, get the circumference at the equator. This will represent the distance along the Earth at the equator. So for example, if you measure this circumference at the equator, it will be about 40,000 kilometers. Now for us to find out the rotational speed at the equator, we will use the formula of the speed. Can you still remember what is the formula of the speed? Yes, speed is equal to distance divided by time. So we will substitute the distance. So we know that the circumference stands for the distance at the equator and that will represent 40,000 kilometers. And of course, we will divide this by 24 hours. So if you divide 40,000 divided by 24, it would be about 1,600 km per hour. So ito yung rotational speed ng mga objects malapit sa equator. This time, let us solve the rotational speed of the part of the Earth found near the poles. Para hindi ka masyadong mahirapan, itong part na to ang ating isosolve. Matatagpuan ito sa gitna talaga ng equator at saka ng North Pole. And what do you think would be the distance of this part of the Earth? And that would be the circumference of this part of the Earth also. Yes, syempre kalahati lang din ng circumference ng equator. So that would be 20,000 kilometers. Very good. Ngayon, paano nga natin isosolve ang rotational speed kung bibigyan ka ng distance na 20,000 kilometer? Ano yung gagamitin natin na formula? Very good. Yung formula ng speed na kung saan i-divide lang natin yung distance sa time. At ano yung time na gagamitin natin? Very good. 24 hours. Bakit 24 hours? Yes, very good. Kasi it takes 24 hours for the Earth to complete one rotation. So isa-substitute mo lang yan, di ba? So we have 20,000 kilometers for distance. I-divide mo yan sa 24 hours. Sige. This time, you solve it. Bibigyan kita ng time para isolve yung problem na yan. Please do it now. Now, what is the answer? Very good. The answer is about 800 kilometers per hour. Kalahati lang din ng rotational speed na matatagpuan dito sa equator. So that's the difference between the rotational speed in the places found near the equator and in the rotational speed in the places found near the pole. So because of that rotational speed, it also affects the movement of the objects in both places. Now again, kung isosolve pa natin yung rotational speed dito sa tip part ng ating Earth, particularly in this North Pole area, ano kaya yung resulta? Yes, more or less, zero na yung makukuha nating sagot. Ibig sabihin, hindi na masyadong umiikot dito yung mga objects na nasa itaas na bahagi ng ating Earth o sa ating North Pole. Katulad din yan, class, dito sa ating South Pole. Again, the farther you go from the equator, the slower is the movement of the air. Mas lalayo ang isang bagay palayo sa equator, babagal ito sa paggalaw. Now, dahil nga babagal ang paggalaw ng hangin, ito ay lilihis ng direksyon o the air will be deflected sideways. And this phenomenon is being described as Coriolis Effect. No, ang pag-deflect o ang paglihis ng isang bagay habang nakapatong ito sa umiikot na bagay o simple yung tinatawag nga nating Coriolis Effect, ay pwede yang mailarawan gamit yung amusement park ride na yan. O tinatawag natin itong merry-go-round. Nakasakay ka na ba nito? So for example, may kasama ka na sumasakay sa merry-go-round na yan. Tatlo kayo. At ikaw, meron kang bola na hinahawakan. At gusto mong ipasa yung bola mo sa katapat mo. Ano kaya yung mangyayari sa bola? Let's see. Kung ipapasa mo yung bola, class, habang hindi pa umiikot yung merry-go-round, for sure, the ball will go straight to the person in front of you. Pero kung iikot na yung merry-go-round, ibang usapan na yan. Hindi na mapupunta yung ipapasa mong bola sa katapat mo, kundi yung bola ay lilihis ng direksyon. Just like you see here on the screen. Bakit kaya? Very good. Kasi nga, umiikot na yung merry-go-round na sinasakyan nyo. At nakakaapekto ito sa direksyon ng paggalaw ng bola. Ito din yung nangyayari sa hangin, class, habang umiikot ang ating mundo. Yung bola na yan ay nagre-represent yan ng moving objects like the air. And your merry-go-round represents the Earth while it rotates. Yung illustration na to, class, ay simpleng paglalarawan lang kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng Coriolis Effect. Now, how is the air deflected in the northern hemisphere? And how is the air deflected in the southern hemisphere? Magkaparehas lang ba ang paglihis ng paggalaw ng mga objects like the air in northern and in southern hemispheres? Yes, the air is deflected towards the right in the northern hemisphere, while the air is deflected towards the left in the southern hemisphere instead of going straight up or down. Yes, magkaiba yung direksyon ng paglihis ng mga moving objects both in southern and northern hemispheres. Now, how can deflected air affects the movements of the objects here on Earth? Paano nakakaapekto ang paggalaw o paglihis ng paggalaw ng mga hangin sa mga bagay dito sa mundo? Yes, very good. The deflected air affects the surface ocean currents, which occur usually in the open seas and oceans, influencing the direction of the waves. Kung mapapansin niyo, class, malalakas yung alon dito sa may karagatang Pasipiko kung ikukumpara mo sa mga karagatan malapit sa North at saka sa South Pole. Aside from this, ano pa yung epekto ng paglihis ng mga hangin? Yes, Coriolis effect influences the spinning direction of the typhoons. Here in Northern Hemisphere, typhoon spins in counterclockwise direction. Dahil ang Pilipinas parte ng Northern Hemisphere, then ito yung direksyon ng ating mga bagyo dito. At dahil yan sa Coriolis effect. And how about the Southern Hemisphere? What is the direction of their typhoons there? Yes, very good! Typhoons in the Southern Hemisphere spin in clockwise direction, just like you see here on the screen. Now what else, class? What do you think are other effects of deflected air? Especially here in the Philippines. Yes, very good. We experience hanging amihan or northeast monsoon, and we experience hanging habagat or southwest monsoon because of Coriolis effect or deflection of the air. And we've discussed this last time, right? When we discussed the topic about seasons in the Philippines. Can you still remember that? Now, sa more class, ano pa yung mga epekto ng paglihis ng paggalaw ng ating mga hangin? Dahil nga sa Coriolis effect. Sa eroplano kaya, class, may epekto ba sa paglipad ng eroplano ang Coriolis effect? Yes, class, planes are also affected by this what we call Coriolis effect, especially when they are traveling long distances around the Earth. It appears to fly in curve as opposed to a straight line. This time, let us discuss your activity number 2 entitled Traveling Earth. What do these materials in your activity number 2 represent? What does the pushpin represent? And how about the pencil? What does it represent? Anybody? Let's have first the pushpin. What does the pushpin represent? Very good! The pushpin represents the sun. And how about the pencil? What does the pencil represent? Yes, very good! The pencil represents the earth. Please observe the movement of the pencil. While you move the pencil, you've created a circular path, right? Just like you see here on the screen. Now, what does the circular path in your drawing represent? Very good! The circular path represents the orbit. Now, what do you call the circular movement of the pencil around the pushpin? What do you think? Anybody? Yes, the circular movement of the pencil around the pushpin described as revolution. Now, do you think, class, Earth is also traveling around the sun, just like you see here in your activity? What do you think? And what are your evidences that Earth is really traveling around the sun? Can you cite any evidences? Yes, the Earth is really traveling around the sun, just like in our activity number 2. And there are really evidences that Earth is indeed traveling around the sun. The change of season is one of the evidences that Earth is really revolving around the sun. And there are countries here on Earth, especially those countries located at the middle latitude, they experience 4 seasons. We have summer, we have autumn or fall, we have winter, and we have spring. But here in the Philippines, we only experience 2 types of season. Can you still remember what are those? Very good. In the Philippines, we have only dry and wet seasons. One evidence also that Earth is really traveling around the sun is the change of direction of the star patterns in the sky. And we call these star patterns as constellation. Now, based on your activity earlier, and of course, based on this illustration, how do you describe Earth's revolution? Anybody? Yes, very good. The movement of the Earth around the sun is called revolution. Observe closely, class, the direction of the revolution of the Earth around the Sun. How does Earth revolve around the Sun? Anybody? Yes, Earth revolves around the Sun in a counterclockwise direction, or it revolves around the Sun from west to east direction. Now, how do Earth travel around the Sun? Ano ba yung dinadaanan ng Earth kapag umiikot ito around the Sun? Yes, very good. Earth travels around the Sun through its orbit. And what is an orbit? Very good. Orbit is an imaginary path around the Sun. And how do you describe Earth's orbit? Yes, very good. Earth's orbit is not circular, but Earth's orbit is elliptical. And what happens if the Earth's orbit is elliptical? Earth's elliptical orbit, class, is the reason why the Earth is sometimes closer or farther from the Sun. Pagiging elliptical ng shape ng orbit ng Earth, class, ang naging dahilan kung bakit may mga times malapit yung Earth sa Sun at may mga times din na kung saan ang Earth ay malayo din sa Sun. Ang pagka-elliptical shape sa orbit sa Earth, class, mauna ang rason nga no may mga panahon na kung diin ang Earth ay layo sa Sun. Napoy panahon nga ang Earth duol ra sa Sun. Musulti kag elliptical shape, class, kanang inyong nakita ron, mura siya og pataas nga oblong. What do you call when the Earth is nearest from the Sun at the point of its revolution? Yes, very good. This point is called Perihelion. The Earth is closest or nearest from the Sun. What do you call the part or the point wherein the Earth is farthest from the Sun while it revolves around it? Yes, very good. When the Earth reaches the farthest point in its orbit while it revolves around the Sun, this is called aphelion. And how many days Earth takes to complete one revolution around the Sun? What do you think? Anybody? Yes, very good. It takes the Earth 1 year or 365 and 1/4 days to complete one revolution around the Sun. Since we are using a Gregorian calendar wherein there is only 365 days in 1 year, what do you think is being used to compensate for the exist time to keep the calendar in sync with the revolution of the Earth around the Sun? Now, ano kaya yung ginawa ng tao, class, para maging tugma ang bilang ng araw sa ating kalendaryo at sa bilang ng araw ng pag-revolve ng Earth around the Sun? Wala naman kasing fraction ang ating kalendaryo kung susundin natin yung bilang ng araw sa pag-revolve ng Earth around the Sun. Ano kaya sa palagay nyo? Nakarinig ka na ba ng leap year, class? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng leap year? Very good! Leap year is used every 4 years and it adds 1 day in the month of February every 4 years. Kung napapansin ninyo, class, may mga taon tayo na ang February ay may 29 days. Nangyayari lang ito, class, every 4 years. Kasi kadalasan 28 days lang ang buwan ng Pebrero. Pero kung leap year, nagiging 29 days ito. Ano kaya yung koneksyon ng leap year sa ating number of days sa pag-revolve ng Earth around the Sun? Paano ba naging tugma ang paggamit ng leap year sa number of days sa pag-revolve ng Earth around the Sun? Ganito kasi yan, class. Last year, 2021, 365 days lang ang isang taon natin. And yung month of February sa taong yan ay 28 days lang. This year, 2022, parehas din. 365 days ang isang taon natin. At 28 days lang din yung February natin. Next year din, class, expect ka din na 365 days lang ang isang taon. And 28 days lang yung month of February. Pero, what do you think in the year 2024? Ilang days kaya mayroon sa isang taon on 2024? Yes, very good. It will be 366 days. Kasi yung 2024 ang tinatawag nating leap year. Yung month of February ng 2024, madadagdagan niya ng 1 day. So, ibig sabihin, in February 2024, magiging 29 days na ang month of February. Now, paano ba nakuha yung 366 days para sa taong 2024 na nakaka-consider nga natin na leap year? This time, i-compare naman natin yung number of days sa ating kalendaryo sa number of days sa pag-ikot ng Earth around the Sun. Magsimula tayo sa year 2021. Last year nga, 365 days ang ating kalendaryo na nagamit. Pero, hindi ito tugma sa number of days sa pag-ikot ng mundo around the Sun kasi ang isang pag-ikot ng Earth around the Sun is 365 and 1/4 days. So, ibig sabihin, may 1/4 pa na day na hindi nabilang noong taong 2021. This year din, class, kung matapos natin ang year 2022, 365 days lang ang nagamit natin sa ating kalendaryo at hindi pa rin ito tugma sa 365 and 1/4 days ng pag-ikot ng Earth around the Sun. So, ibig sabihin, this year, may 1/4 pa din na hindi mabibilang. So, dalawang 1/4 na ang hindi nabibilang, class. And expect ka din, another 1/4 na hindi mabibilang next year. Kasi, yung month of February natin next year is 28 days lang. O ang total ng isang taon next year will still be 365 days. At hindi pa rin nabibilang yung tatlong 1/4 na dapat kasali sa ating kalendaryo. Now, in 2024, another 1/4 din ang dapat i-include sa ating kalendaryo. So ngayon, sa 4 na taon na to, ano kaya yung gagawin natin sa mga 1/4 na yan? Para nga maging tugma na ang pag-revolve ng Earth around the Sun sa ating number of days na ginagamit natin sa ating kalendaryo. Now, let us solve kung ano ba yung result kapag in-add natin yung 4 na 1/4 na yan. Now, let's do a simple mathematics. So, i-add na natin yung 4 na 1/4 na nalikom natin in 4 years. What kind of fractions are you seeing here? Yes, very good. These are similar fractions. Bakit nasabi mo na similar fractions ang nakikita mo ngayon dito? Yung 4 na 1/4 na yan. Very good. They are similar fractions because their denominators are the same. Paano nga ulit mag-add ng similar fractions? Very good. We will add the numerator and we will copy the number in the denominator. Ganun lang kasimple mag-add ng similar fractions. So, let us add now. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is equal to? Yes, 4/4 or 4/4. Paano natin nakuha yung 4/4? Yes, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 4. And we just copied the denominator 4. That's why we get 4/4. 4/4 is still equal to? Yes, very good. It's 1. 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. So, ibig sabihin, class, kapag naipon natin yung 4 na 1/4 na yan in 4 years, makakabuo na tayo ng isang buong araw. At anong taon dito dapat ilagay yung 1 day na yan? Yes, very good. Yung 1 day na yan ay ilalagay or i-add dito sa year 2024. Yun nga, yung 1 day na yan, ilalagay sa month of February. Yung month of February of 2024 will become 29. And that makes the year 2024 a leap year because it has 366 days. Na kumpleto na natin, na coincide na natin, na tugma na natin yung number of days ng pag-revolve ng Earth around the Sun sa ating mga ginagamit na kalendaryo. And that is the basic concept of leap year. So these are the years considered as leap years. Sa sinabi ko na kanina, the year 2024 is a leap year. And the next leap year after 2024 will be 2028. And what have you observed between the interval of leap years? Yes, very good. Nangyayari yung leap year every 4 years. From 2024, add ka ng 4 na taon, 2028 na ang next na leap year. Add ka naman ng 4 na taon sa 2028, the next leap year will be in the year 2032. And so on and so forth. Same pa din yung concept na na-apply dito sa ipinakita ko sa inyo kanina. By the way, what are again the effects of Earth's revolution? Anybody? Yes, very good. The Earth's revolution causes the different seasons all throughout the year here on Earth. And what do you think is the reason why there are other countries here on Earth have 4 seasons? And why not here in the Philippines? We only have 2 seasons here. What do you think? Now, aside from the Earth's revolution class, the Earth's tilting axis causes the 4 seasons in some countries here on Earth. And the Earth's axis is tilted of about 23 degrees. So because of this, different parts of the Earth receive different amount of sunlight at the different times of the year. Bukod nga sa pag-ikot ng mundo sa araw, ang pagtagilid ng aksis ng mundo ang siyang naging dahilan kung bakit mayroong 4 na seasons ang nararanasan ng ilang lugar dito sa Earth. Ang aksis ng mundo ay nakatagilid nga ng hubigit kumulang 23 degrees at ito ang naging dahilan kung bakit iba't iba ang dami ng sunlight na nakukuha ng iba't ibang lugar dito sa Earth sa loob ng isang taon. Walay labot sa paglibot sa kalibutan sa adlaw, ang pagtahirig sa aksis sa kalibutan mao ang hinungdan ngano may 4 ka seasons ang ubang lugar diri sa Earth. Ang aksis sa kalibutan nagatahirig kulang-kulang 23 degrees. Maupod niyang hinungdan nganong lain-lain ang kadaghanon sa init sa adlaw ang madawat sa laing-laing lugar diri sa kalibutan. Now, how will you describe the seasons in the Northern Hemisphere and the seasons in the Southern Hemisphere? Now, para klaro sa lahat, ito yung tinatawag nating Northern Hemisphere. Kalahati siya ng Earth, pero ito'y matatagpuan sa itaas na bahagi. And Philippines belongs to the Northern Hemisphere. Ito naman yung Southern Hemisphere. Ang kalahati naman na ibabang bahagi ng Earth ang siyang tinatawag nating Southern Hemisphere. And Australia is found in the Southern Hemisphere. Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere experience different seasons and at the same time. Now, summer begins in the Northern Hemisphere on June 21 or 22. During this time, the North Pole is tilted to its full towards the sun. Solstice happen when the tilt or the slant of the Earth's axis reaches the maximum and the minimum angles relative to the sun. May summer solstice na mangyayari sa Northern Hemisphere sa June 21 or 22. Sa panahong ito, ang North Pole ay nakatagilid ng pinakamalapit sa Sun. May summer solstice na mangyayari kapag ang pagtagilid ng Earth's axis ay umabot sa pinakamalapit o pinakamalayo sa anggulo ng araw. May naay summer solstice sa Northern Hemisphere sa June 21 or 22. Sa mauni nga panahon, ang pagtahirig sa North Pole kay pinakaduol sa adlaw. May matabo nga solstice kung ang pagtahirig sa Earth's axis muabot sa pinakaduol o pinakalayo sa anggulo sa adlaw. The Northern Hemisphere experienced the longest daytime during the summer solstice. Northern Hemisphere ay makakaranas ng pinakamatagal na araw. Mapapansin ninyo class kapag summer solstice, ngayong June 21 or 22, pansinin ninyo na makakaranas tayo ng pinakamatagal na araw. Mapapansin ninyo na bakit matagal gumabi. Kahit alas 6 na ng gabi, may araw pa din or maliwanag pa rin sa labas. Pinakataas ang adlaw class sa Northern Hemisphere pag naay summer solstice. Panilagi ba ninyo class karong umaabot nga June 21 or June 22? Kay mauning mga adlaw, pinakataas ang adlaw. Mabatsagan ninyo nga pertimang dugaya sa gabi. Biskan alas 6 na sa gabi, murag hayag paghihapon sa gawas. When there is summer solstice in Northern Hemisphere, wherein the Northern Hemisphere experiences the longest daytime, magkaiba naman yung nararanasan sa Southern Hemisphere class. Kabaliktaran naman ang nararanasan nila. Kung dito sa atin sa Northern Hemisphere may summer solstice, sa time na ito, sa June 21 or 22, ang mararanasan naman sa mga lugar sa Southern Hemisphere ay winter solstice. Pinakamahaba naman ang kanilang gabi. Now, what happens in the North Pole or the Northern Hemisphere when it is tilted away from the sun? Winter solstice starts on December 21 or 22 in the Northern Hemisphere, wherein the North Pole is tilted to its full away from the sun. Ang winter solstice naman class magsisimula tuwing December 21 or December 22 dito sa Northern Hemisphere, na kung saan ang North Pole ay nakalayo or nakatagilid ng pinakamalayo sa sun sa mga panahong ito. Dito naman sa panahong ito, class, mararanasan mo at mapapansin mo napakatagal ang gabi. Kahit alas 5 pa lang ng hapon, ay medyo madilim na sa labas. Mapapansin niyo yan tuwing December 21 or 22. May winter solstice na matabo diri sa Northern Hemisphere on December 21 or 22. Sa kung diin, ang North Pole pinakalayo ang pagtahirig sa adlaw. Diri na pud nimo mabatsagan class pag December 21 or 22 nga pinakataas ang gabi. Biskan alas 5 pa sa hapon, pero ngit-ngit na sa gawas. Kung winter solstice ang mangyayari dito sa atin sa Northern Hemisphere, kabaliktaran naman ang mangyayari sa Southern Hemisphere on December 21 or 22. Kasi summer solstice naman ang nangyayari or nararanasan nila. Dahil nga yung South Pole nakaharap pinakamalapit sa Sun. That is why in the Southern Hemisphere, makakaranas sila ng longest daytime on December 21 or 22. What will happen when the Earth's axis is tilted neither away or towards the Sun? When will it happen? Now, twice a year class. The daytime and the nighttime periods are equal in length. And we call this as equinox. Just like here in the Philippines, during equinox, we experience 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of nighttime. Dalawang beses ito mangyayari sa loob ng isang taon, na kung saan ang bilang ng oras ng araw at gabi ay pareho lang. Ang tawag natin dito ay equinox. Sa tuwing may equinox, dito sa Pilipinas, makakaranas tayo ng 12 oras na araw at 12 oras din ang gabi. Ikaduha ni ka beses matabo sa usa ka tuig class. Ang tawag nato ani equinox kung parehas ra ang oras sa gabi og sa adlaw. Diri sa ato sa Pilipinas, may equinox gani, 12 jud na ka oras ang gabi og 12 pud ka oras ang adlaw. The first equinox happens on March 21. The length of the day and the nighttime is equal. And this is also called as spring or vernal equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere. But in the Southern Hemisphere, they experience Autumnal Equinox. Still, parehas din yung oras ng kanilang daytime at saka yung nighttime. The second equinox happened on September 23, wherein the daytime and the nighttime are again of equal length. We call this here in the Northern Hemisphere as Autumnal Equinox, while in the Southern Hemisphere, they will experience Spring or Vernal Equinox. Both Northern and Southern Hemisphere experience equal length of daytime and nighttime. Equinoxes happen when the sunlight is exactly above the planet's equator, meaning all parts of the globe, all parts of the earth receive equal amount of sunlight. Kapag equinoxes class, pantay lamang ang amount o ang dami ng sunlight na marireceive ng northern at saka southern hemisphere. Kaya pantay din ang length ng daytime at saka ng nighttime sa northern at saka sa southern hemisphere. Let me present again the equinoxes and solstices that happen in the northern hemisphere. Let's take this. When the earth is in this part, it is vernal equinox here in the northern hemisphere, wherein the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere receive equal amount of sunlight. And when the earth is in this position, the northern hemisphere experience summer solstice, wherein the north pole is tilted towards the sun. That's why it receives more light from the sun. In this case, equinox happens in the northern hemisphere, and this is autumnal equinox. In this part, the northern and the southern hemisphere receive equal amount of sunlight. That is why the length of daytime and nighttime is equal. In this part, the northern hemisphere experience winter solstice, wherein the north hemisphere, the north pole, is tilted away from the sun, meaning it receives less sunlight. That is why it will experience the longest nighttime. Again, iba naman ang mararanasan sa southern hemisphere. For example, if northern hemisphere experiences vernal equinox in this part, the southern hemisphere experiences autumnal equinox. When the northern hemisphere experiences summer solstice here, the southern hemisphere experiences winter solstice. In this part, when the northern hemisphere experiences autumnal equinox, in southern hemisphere, they will experience vernal or spring equinox. In this part, if the northern hemisphere experiences winter solstice, the southern hemisphere experiences summer solstice. In northern hemisphere, vernal equinox happens on March 20, 21, or 22. Again, in northern hemisphere, summer solstice happens on June 20, 21, or 22. In northern hemisphere, autumnal equinox happens on June 21, 22, or 23. Still in northern hemisphere, we experience winter solstice on December 21 or 22. This time, let's answer the what's more part of your Module 5, particularly your Lesson 1. This could be found on page 9 to 10. Directions, right? Check if the picture shows effects of Earth's movement on its axis, or we call this as Earth's rotation, and X if it's not. Let's have number 1. Is change of seasons an effect of Earth's rotation? Check or X? Yes, very good. The answer is X. Change of seasons is not an effect of Earth's rotation, but it is an effect of Earth's revolution. Very good. Number 2. The sun seems to rise in the east. Is it an effect of Earth's rotation? Check or X? Yes, very good. Check. The direction of sunrise is the effect of Earth's rotation. Number 3. Day and night. Is the occurrence of daytime and nighttime is an effect of Earth's rotation or not? Check or X? The correct answer is check. The daytime and nighttime is the effect of Earth's rotation. Number 4. Direction of the spinning of tropical cyclone. Is it an effect of rotation or not? Check or X? Yes, very good. The correct answer is check. The direction of the spinning of the tropical cyclones is the effect of Earth's rotation. And number 5, air deflection. What's the correct answer? Is it an effect of Earth's rotation or not? Check or X? Very good. It is an effect of Earth's rotation. Air deflection happens because the Earth's rotation has Coriolis Effect. Based on our activity, what are the effects of Earth's rotation? Yes, very good. The effects of Earth's rotations are the sun seems to rise in the east. Number two, the occurrence of daytime and nighttime. Number three, the direction of tropical cyclones. And number four, air deflections are among of the effects of Earth's rotation. Good job! This time, let's have the what's more part of your lesson 2. Still in your module 5. This could be found on page 18. Directions: write true if the statement is correct and false if it is incorrect. True or false? Number 1. The movement of the earth around the sun is called rotation. True or false? Very good. It is false. The movement of the earth around the sun is called revolution. Very good. Number 2. The earth revolves around the sun through its orbit. True or false? True. Very good. Number 3. Revolution causes the change of seasons. True or false? Yes, very good. The answer is true. Number 4. True or false? Seasons change because Earth is tilted while it revolves around the sun. Is it true or false? Yes, aside from the Earth's revolution, the tilting of the Earth's axis is also one of the reasons why there is change of seasons. Number 5. The Earth spins around its orbit in clockwise movement. True or false? Yes, it's false. The Earth spins around its orbit in counterclockwise direction or from west to east. Can you feel the rotation of the Earth, class? Mararamdaman mo ba ang pag-ikot ng mundo? Mabatsagan ba nimong paglibot sa kalibutan? Yes, we can feel it. Hindi natin ito masyadong maramdaman. Dili siya kaayo nato mabatsagan. Why? Why can't we feel the Earth's rotation? Bakit kaya hindi natin masyadong maramdaman ang pag-ikot ng mundo? Nganong dili man nato mabatsagan ang paglibot sa kalibutan? What do you think, class? What's the reason? Yes, it's because we, including the oceans and the atmosphere, are spinning along with the Earth's and at the same constant speed. And as we all know, the Earth's rotational speed at the equator is about 1,600 kilometers per hour. Kasabay kasi natin, class, ang mundo sa paggalaw, kasama ng mga karagatan at hangin. Kaya hindi natin ito masyadong maramdaman kapag umiikot ito. Gumagalaw tayo kasama ng mundo sa parehong bilis. At alam naman natin, dahil malapit tayo sa equator, ang rotational speed natin dito ay umaabot ng humigit kumulang 1,600 km per hour. Dili na ito mabatsagan, class, ang paglibot sa kalibutan tungod kita, kuyog sa kalibutan og hangin og dagat, galihok mampudgod ta. Galihok ta kuyog sa kalibutan sa pareho ra nga kakusugon. Kita diri sa Pilipinas tungod duol ta sa equator, ang kakusugon sa ato ang paglihok moabot kulang-kulang 1,600 km per hour. Just like, for example, when you are riding or when you are inside that big boat or cruise ship, in which you, together with that cruise ship, are moving along with a constant speed. Do you feel it moving when you are inside that cruise ship? Of course not. Because you and everything inside that cruise ship are moving along with it in a constant speed. Your motion is coupled with the motion of the cruise ship. You will feel or you will see that the cruise ship is moving only if you want to go outside that cruise ship and take a view. Again, halimbawa, Kung nasa loob ka ng isang cruise ship or napakalaking barko na kung saan ito'y gumagalaw sa dagat ng parehong bilis. Mararamdaman mo ba na gumagalaw ito kung nasa loob ka ng cruise ship? Di ba hindi? Dahil ikaw kasama ng mga pasahero at ang mga bagay na nasa loob nito ay gumagalaw din ng parehong bilis ng paggalaw ng cruise ship. Mararamdaman mo lang na gumagalaw ito kung lumabas ka ng cruise ship at tumitingin ka sa mga tanawin. At hindi naman natin pinapalalangin, pero mararamdaman mo yung paggalaw nito kung may biglang impact o kung nabunggo ito ng isang bagay na nasa dagat. Mararamdaman mo din yung paggalaw ng cruise ship na to kapag inabutan ito ng malalaking alon. Ito din ang konsepto class sa pag-ikot ng mundo. Hindi natin maramdaman ang pag-ikot ng mundo kasi kasama niya tayo na gumagalaw. Usbon ako class ha, kung naakagasakay sa sulod ani sa cruise ship o sa dako kayo nga barko, nga gaandar sa dagat o usa ka kusugon. Mabatsagad ba nimo nga gaandar ang barko? Di ba dili? Tungod nga ikaw sama sa mga pasahero ug uban pa nga mga butang nga naa sa sulod ani nga barko, gadagan pod kuyog ani sa barko sa pareho nga kakusugon. Mabatsagan lang nimo nga gaandar ang barko kung mugawas ka sa barko para mulantaw sa mga talan-awon. O wala mapudato ginapangamuyo kung mabunggo ni sa butang nga naa sa dagat. So dira ra nimo mabatsagan nga gaandar ni ang barko. Mabatsagan na po din nimo class na gaandar ang barko kung may mga dagko kaayo nga mga balod nga nasugata niya. Pareho ra po di class sa konsepto sa paglibot sa kalibutan na kung diin dili na to mabatsagan ang paglihok sa kalibutan tungod kita galihok pod kuyog niya. Nakasakay ka na ba ng eroplano class? Sino na ba sa inyo nakasakay ng eroplano? Anong naramdaman nyo nung nasa ere ka na o nasa taas ka na at lumilipad na yung eroplano? Naramdaman nyo ba na lumilipad ang eroplano, umaandar ang eroplano kung nasa ere ka na? Di ba hindi rin? Same din ito ng konsepto class ng pag-ikot ng mundo. Hindi natin maramdaman ang pag-ikot ng mundo kasi nga kasama niya tayo na gumagalaw. Katulad din ito ng eroplano. Hindi natin masyadong maramdaman ang paggalaw ng eroplano kahit napakatuli ng lipad nito kung nasa ere ka na. Dahil kasama ng eroplano, gumagalaw din tayo. Mararamdaman mo lang ang paggalaw ng eroplano kung may mga turbulence na nangyayari sa ere dahil sa masama ang panahon. Now, what do you think class will happen if the Earth will not rotate or revolve around the Sun? What do you think? Anybody? Now, if the Earth will not rotate class, the portion of the Earth facing towards the Sun would always experience daytime. And this will bring continuous warmth to this part of the Earth. Kung hindi umiikot class ang mundo sa kanyang sariling axis, yung parte ng Earth na nakaharap sa araw ay palagi lang makakaranas ng tag-init. At dahil dito, magdadala ito ng napakainit na panahon araw-araw. Kung wala galibot ang kalibutan class, ang katong parte sa kalibutan nga gaatubang sa adlaw, permira init ang ilahang mabatsagan. Now, what do you think will happen to those parts of the earth that is facing away from the sun? Ano naman ang kanilang mararamdaman kung hindi umiikot yung mundo? Yes, the other half would remain in darkness and be freezing cold all the time. Yung parte naman ng mundo class na hindi naaabutan ng araw, mananatiling madilim ito at makakaranas ng napakalamig na panahon kung hindi umiikot ang mundo. Kung wala galibot ang kalibutan class, ang katong parte sa kalibutan nga wala gaatubang sa adlaw, gabi ira pirmi sa ilaha o perting tugnawa ang ilahang mabatsagan adlaw-adlaw. If this will happen, life would not have been possible in these extreme conditions. Kung palagi lang mainit at palaging napakalamig lang ang mararamdaman ng mga tao, posible class na hindi tayo mabubuhay kung ganito ang ating panahon. Mangyayari lang yan kung hindi umiikot ang mundo. May posibilidad class na matabo kung wala galibot ang kalibutan. Dili jud mabuhi ang tawo kung puro init ug puro ra bugnaw ang iyahang mabatsyagan. If the earth is not moving, then each star will appear to be in the same place relative to other stars. Kung hindi gumagalaw ang mundo class, yung mga posisyon ng mga bituin natin ay hindi rin magbabago. Kung wala galibot ang kalibutan class, ang mga posisyon sa mga bituon, maurag gihapon, dili gyud magbag-o. There will be no season also if Earth will not revolve around the sun. Walang pagbabago sa ating panahon kung hindi umiikot o hindi gumagalaw ang ating mundo sa araw. There will be no weather changes that will happen here on Earth. Now, what if class? If there will be too hot weather or too cold weather, can you play your favorite sports under these extreme weather conditions? Makakapaglaro ka pa ba kung napakainit o napakalamig ang panahon? Makaduwa pa ba ka sa imong paborito nga duluwaon kung perting inita o perting tugnawa sa panahon? Now what do you think, class? Can you do all your favorite sports if this will happen? You cannot play your favorite sports if the weather is too hot or too cold. So that's why we have to be thankful that Earth is rotating and revolving around the sun para magagawa natin ang lahat ng gusto natin. At ikaw, magagawa mo, makakapaglaro ka sa mga paborito mong laruin araw-araw. Now, speaking of sports class, in playing your favorite sports, what important value should you possess to totally accept the results of the game? Kung naglalaro ka ng iyong paboritong sports class, ano ba yung napakahalagang kaugalian na dapat mong taglayin para matanggap mo kung ano man ang mga resulta ng iyong laro? Unsa kaha class ang maayong pamatasan ang imuhang dapat angkunon para madawat nimo kung unsa man ang resulta sa duwa kung gaduwa ka sa imuhang paborito nga sports? Yes, very good. The value of sportsmanship. This is very important value class for you to accept wholeheartedly whatever the result of the game. And you have to be fair always class and have generous behavior or treatment to your opponents or your teammates. You have to show all the time class the respect to your opponents and your teammates. And as I said, you have to graciously and wholeheartedly accept whatever the result of the game. That is how to show a true sportsmanship. And I hope you will possess this always. Now, what is the difference between Earth's rotation and Earth's revolution? Anybody? Very good! Earth's rotation refers to the movement of the Earth on its axis, while the revolution is the movement of the Earth around the Sun. What are the effects of Earth's rotation? Anybody? Yes, very good! The occurrence of daytime, the occurrence of nighttime, the air deflection, the direction of the tropical cyclone, the direction of sunrise and sunset are among the effects of Earth's rotation. Now, what are the effects of Earth's revolution? Yes, very good! The effects of Earth's revolution include the occurrence of seasons, and we have also the change of star patterns positions. We call this as constellation. The change of the position of our constellation. Good job! Now this time, let's answer the what I have learned part of your Module 5, particularly the Lesson 1. And this could be found on page 10. Directions: complete the sentences by writing the correct word from the box. So again, we will just choose our answer inside the box. Number 1. The movement of the Earth on its axis is called blank. It causes day and night. What is the answer? Very good! its rotation. Number 2. The part of the Earth which is facing the Sun experiences blank. What's the answer? Correct! It's daytime. Number 3. The side of the Earth facing away from the Sun experiences blank. What is your answer? Very good! It's nighttime. Number 4. One complete rotation is equivalent to blank or 1 day. What is the answer? Correct! It's 24 hours. Number 5. The deflection of the air as the result of Earth's rotation is called blank. What is your answer? Yes, we call this as Coriolis Effect. So let us read all together the What I Have Learned part of your Module 5 in Lesson 1. I have learned that the movement of the Earth on its axis is called rotation. It causes day and night. The part of the Earth which is facing the Sun experiences daytime. The side of the Earth facing away from the Sun experiences nighttime. One complete rotation is equivalent to 24 hours or 1 day. The deflection of the air as the result of Earth's rotation is called Coriolis Effect. This time, let us answer the What I Have Learned part in your Lesson 2, and this could be found on page 18. Directions: complete the sentences by supplying the correct word or words found in the box. So again, just like earlier, we will choose our answer inside the box. Number 1, the movement of the Earth on its orbit around the Sun is called? Very good! It's revolution! Number 2, an imaginary circular path around the Sun where Earth travels is called blank. What is your answer? Correct! It's orbit. Number 3, as the tilted Earth revolves around the blank, an equal distribution of light happens. This causes the change of season. What is the answer for number 3? Correct! It's sun. Number 4, a temporary climatic change in a certain location is called blank. What's the answer? Very good! It's season. Number 5, the Earth revolves around its orbit once every blank or 1 year. Very good! It's 365 and 1/4 days. Let us read all together the What I Have Learned part of your Lesson 2. I have learned that the movement of the Earth on its orbit around the Sun is called revolution. An imaginary circular path around the Sun where the Earth travels is called orbit. As the tilted Earth revolves around the Sun, an equal distribution of light happens. This causes the change of season. A temporary climatic change in a certain location is called season. The Earth revolves around its orbit once every 365 and 1/4 days or 1 year. It's assessment time. Now, let's see if you really have understood our lesson for this week. Now, please get 1/4 sheet of paper. Write your name, write your grade and section, and of course, write Science 6 Assessment Lesson 1. Again, this is the assessment part of your module, particularly the Lesson 1. And this could be found on page 11. Now, are you ready? I will give you 5 minutes to answer your assessment. Okay? You only have to write the letter only. Understood? Are you ready? Your time starts now. It's time for your assessment in your lesson 2. Still use the same sheet of paper, but this time use the back page part of your 1/4. And you write Science 6 Assessment Lesson 2 at the back of your paper. Please do it now. Okay, take note. This is the Lesson 2 assessment of your module, and this could be found on page 20. Still, write the letter only. Are you ready? And your time starts now. Now let's have the part 1 of your assignment, and this is the additional activities part of your lesson 1. And this could be found on page 13 of your module 5. Directions: which of the following activities can be best done during daytime or nighttime? Write DT if it is best done during daytime and NT if it is best done during nighttime. Again, this is the part 1 of your assignment, and this is the additional activities part of your module. And you have to write this in your 1/2 sheet of paper, cut it crosswise. Copy this and answer in your 1/2. Understood? Next, let's have the part 2 of your assignment, the additional activities part of your module 5, lesson 2. Directions: make the following statements correct by selecting the correct word or words from the parentheses. Write your answer on your separate sheet of paper. So this is the part 2 of your assignment, the additional activities part of your lesson 2. Again, copy this in your 1/2 sheet of paper and you answer. You only have to choose your answer inside the parentheses, underline it. Understood? Very good. It's Science Challenge time! And we will entitle this Best Summer Ever. This is the part 3 of your assignment. And what will you do? So this is your challenge. In one short band paper, narrate one of your best experiences during summer season. So again, class, you have to write your experiences. The experiences you considered as your best summer ever. Just feel free to write anything, what you feel on that day, on that season, in a one short size band paper. I'll give you an option for this activity, class. If you don't want to write it in a short size band paper, then I'll give you option number 2. If possible, you can make a vlog narrating your best summer ever. And you can use any language you want. Yes, class. Kung may mga gamit ka dyan sa bahay na pwede mong gamitin para sa paggawa mo ng vlog, then you may take option 2. No need na to write your narration in a one sheet of bond paper. Kung vlog ka, mag-vlog ka na lang. Yung vlog na ang isasubmit mo as part 3 of your assignment. Again, you narrate your best summer ever. You can use any language you want if you prefer to have a vlog. You may use English, Tagalog, or in Cebuano, whatever language you are comfortable using. Understood? Very good! What to submit this coming retrieval day? Your 1/4 sheet of paper where your assessments in lesson 1 and lesson 2 are written. And your 1/2 sheet of paper crosswise where your additional activities in part 1 and in part 2 are written. You submit also your short size band paper where your part 3 is written, your science challenge. This is entitled My Best Summer Ever. You submit this together with the 1/4 sheet of paper and your 1/2 sheet of paper. Idikit mo yung tatlong yan kung isasabit na ng parents mo on the retrieval day. Or, if you prefer, instead of writing it in a short size band paper, if you decided to have a vlog, then pwede nang hindi ka na gumawa ng output mo using the band paper. Yung vlog na lang. Understood? So, saan mo isasubmit yung vlog mo kung vlog ang mas prefer mo na isasubmit? You submit your vlog through my email, gemraimond.chain@deped.gov.ph. So, dyan mo lang isasubmit yung output mo. But if you don't have internet, pwede mo namang isave yung output mo sa USB. And then you submit the USB to me on the retrieval day. Are the instructions clear? Now, if you have questions, class, about your output or about our lesson, you can ask me during our e-connect, our online kamustahan that we conducted every Wednesday morning. Now, if you have questions about our lesson, about the outputs that you will be submitting, you can ask me through our offline kamustahan. You can direct message me using my cell phone number. You can private message me in the Facebook Messenger, or you can call me in our scheduled day. Our offline kamustahan is scheduled every Wednesday 2:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon. If you want additional resources, class, in science and of course in mathematics, you can subscribe to my channel. Just type in YouTube Teacher Gem Raimon. I have videos there, I have tutorials there that can be helpful to you. For those who have subscribed already, thank you so much. Now, thank you so much, class, for participating. Have a blessed week ahead. See you next time. Don't forget to stay home and be safe always. Till next time, keep safe, everyone.